Welcome, beloved souls, to this sacred space where we embrace the message from beyond the veil. Today, we step into a vision of profound awakening, guided by the spirit of the prophetess, whose tale of betrayal, sacrifice, and divine wisdom beckons us to listen deeply. In Alexis's meditation, she was called to witness a vision so vivid and powerful that it shattered the boundaries of time. Transported to an ancient world, she witnessed the story of a young prophetess, a woman of extraordinary wisdom and love, whose gifts were misunderstood and sacrificed by those she sought to save. This story serves as a reminder of the deep unseen struggles that guide us. It is an invitation to explain how we recognize or fail to recognize the blessings that walk among us. How often do we allow fear, desperation, or ego to blind us to the truths that's always been within reach? As we reflect today, let us open our hearts to the truth that the divine speaks in many forms, through visions, dreams, and the quiet whispers of the soul. Let us ask ourselves, in what ways are we being called to see more clearly or recognize the wisdom already present within us and in those around us? As Alexis continues to channel and process this profound vision, we too are called to awaken to our own soul's truth. What wisdom do you carry? What truths are you waiting to be heard? Take a deep breath, beloved ones, and step into this sacred space. And let's dive into today's story, the vision of the prophetess. Alexis sat cross-legged on her meditation mat, the faint aroma of burning sage swirling in the room. She had been seeking a clarity when a powerful vision seized her. It was unlike anything she had ever experienced, vivid and unrelenting, and breathtaking in its intensity. She found herself transported to an ancient land surrounded by lush jungles that seemed to hum with life. In the heart of this world stood a grand pyramid, its stone steps rising into the heavens like a sacred bridge between earth and the divine. The air was thick with anticipation. The sound of chanting voices echoed like distant thunder. At the center of it all was a young woman. She was breathtaking, her presence radiant and outerworldly. Alexis could see every detail, her long, wavy hair cascading like a black river, her delicate features glowing with vibrant beauty, a testimony to her mixed heritage of Indian, Spanish, and African descent. She wore a flowing white dress that shimmered like moonlight, and atop her head rested a crown of vibrant feathers. Each feather seemed to shimmer and glow as though it embodied with divine energy, swaying gently with the breeze as if alive. The vision shifted, and Alexis felt the young woman's emotions as if they were her own. This was no ordinary girl. She was a prophetess, a being of extraordinary wisdom and purity. Her connection to the divine was unparalleled, and the village she called home had depended on her for guidance. The elders, the farmers, and even the children sought her for wisdom, for she always had the answers they needed. But Alexis also felt the weight of betrayal. The villagers, desperate to end their suffering, had made a decision. The prophetess was to be a gift to the gods. Their crops had failed, illness plagued them, and they believed this sacrifice would bring salvation. Why would they give her away? Alexis wondered. Didn't they see her as the blessing she was? As the vision deepened, Alexis witnessed the prophetess accepting her fate without resentment. Despite knowing their intentions, she agreed to the ritual, not because she was naive of their motives, but out of love. She believed in her people, even as they betrayed her. The villagers offered her a drink, its contents laced with something that dulled her senses and ensured her compliance. She drank, her eyes reflecting trust and sorrow, and allowed herself to be led up the pyramid. The chants grew louder, filling the air with urgency. Step by step, she ascended, her white dress blowing in the warm breeze, and the crown of feathers atop her head glowing with the colors of the setting sun. At the peak of the pyramid, the ritual began. Alexis could feel the shift in the air, the tension in the air. And then, as the prophetess' body stilled, her spirit lifted. Alexis watched in awe as the woman's essence hovered above her lifeless form. The prophetess didn't look upon the scene with anger. Instead, her spirit radiated grief for the people who had failed to see her for what she truly was. She had been sent to this village as their guide, their salvation, but they were too blind to recognize her as the blessing she was. They had sought answers from the gods, never realizing the answers had already walked among them. As the ritual concluded, the skies remained dark, the crops continued to wither, and the sickness spread. The villagers' desperation had sealed their fate. One by one they perished, their cries lost to the jungle. The prophetess' spirit lingered for a moment, her luminous form pulsing with sorrow. Then she ascended to the heavens, her soul carrying the wisdom she had so desperately tried to share. Alexis could feel her presence, could hear her final thought echoing through the vision they chose not to see. When the vision ended, Alexis opened her eyes, her heart heavy with the weight of what she had witnessed. She couldn't help but wonder, was this a glimpse of the past, or was it a warning, a reflection of choices we make in the present? Her thoughts turned inward. How often do we sacrifice the blessings in our own lives because we fail to recognize them? How often do we make decisions for others, for our families, for our communities, only to feel unappreciated? Alexis knew this vision carried a message, not just for her, but for anyone willing to listen. The story of the prophetess was a mirror reflecting the struggle of giving too much of ourselves in a world that sometimes refuses to see. As we come to the close of this sacred gathering, let us carry the wisdom of the prophetess with us. Her story, a testimony to the power of seeing beyond the surface, invites us to reflect on the blessings that surround us, often hidden in plain sight, waiting to be acknowledged and cherished. May we walk forward with open hearts, recognizing the gifts we've been given, the wisdom we've yet to discover, and the divine guidance that's always available to us. Just as Alexis received the messages from the spirit realm, we too are invited to listen deeply to the whispers of our own soul and trust in the power of the unseen truths. Take a moment to breathe, to be still, and to honor the journey that continues to unfold within and around you. Remember, awakening is not a destination, but a continuous process of seeing, feeling, and knowing more deeply with each step. Until we meet again, may your souls remain open, your heart full of love, and your path illuminated by the divine light that guides us all.